Greetings everyone, Swippy92 here, and for the past few days, like from Thursday to Sunday last week, I've been playing the New World Open Beta. Now, I will start off by saying I like the game, but from the closed beta to the open beta, not much has changed, unfortunately. For example, playing in a group still required you to like physically run to each other if you didn't spawn at the same time, so that still requires a way to get to each other, like teleporting, or a way to start in the same area, like for instance choosing the same uh, starting point if you get to choose that at some point maybe. Crafting still requires a little bit more work to be more balanced, I think, because it requires a lot of material for small things, like 15 iron bars for one small furniture that is 95% wood, like a bookshelf or a end table, bed end table. Is it just end table? End table, whatever. Yeah. And like 95% wood, and the rest is just nails, hinges, and fittings. So the only thing that's iron is the nails, fittings, and hinges. So I don't know why that would take 15 iron bars for those things. I mean, those iron bars would be really small, or the thing you're making would be really, really big. And why not try the fork and knife in the old place setting furniture, which consists of a plate, a small bowl, a carrying plate, and wait, that's just one fork, no knife? Yeah, that looks like there's just one fork and there's no knife. Okay, so 5 iron bars for a fork. Yeah, see my point? This is also a problem in the other crafting stations, like crafting armors and weapons. It requires a ridiculous amount of iron and steel bars and such to actually make that item, no matter how small it is. I mean, just a ordinary sword requires like 15-20 iron bars. I mean, that's ridiculous. It needs a change, in my opinion. I would also like to see some more rare things drop from when you're collecting or gathering things like wood and ore and such, because as much iron veins as I have mined, I haven't gotten a single Fey iron ore, or whatever they're called. Not even in the closed beta, which ran for much longer, and I played much longer than this, I did not get a single Fey iron ore, only ordinary iron. These Fey iron ore is green in rarity, so I would figure that they would be a little bit more common. I have gotten more rare and purple loot from animals than I've gotten Fey iron from iron ore, so that's just ridiculous in my opinion. Character customization is still also a pretty limited tool, unfortunately. I would have loved to see more customization options, both for body types and hair and scars and tattoos and all that. I do think it requires a little bit more work, but I mean, and I never spend too much time on character customization anyway, but I would love to see some more faces and other things come to the customization part of the game. Uh, During this beta, there was also this sound bug, a very weird sound bug, which caused all the sounds in the game to disappear, except for music and ding, the ding sound you get from when you get experience for your weapon and your character after killing a enemy or mining something. After you have gathered the materials from it, you hear a ding. is done. So yeah, that didn't disappear, but the mining sound or chopping sound or combat sound, all that disappeared. We can also, here's a clip of me doing a corruption event where the sound is just going all nuts. This is not because of the video or recording, this is the game. Now, I will say that it could be my settings or my computer, but I doubt it because many other people were also complaining about sound bugs in the game. So that is unfortunate. Some bosses in the game, though, that are mission-based, that you have to kill or defeat in a mission, did have a unusually high respawn time. Like, for instance, the boss I'm waiting for here had maybe a respawn time of 4 or 5 minutes at least. All you need to do really is to damage the boss and you can get the mission objective done, but you also need to damage him for a, well, not a specific amount, but I'm guessing it's a specific percentage of his health you need to damage to actually get the quest done if you're not in a party. Some players did recommend that you should be in a party when doing the quests, but I'm not sure that would help because I still think you need to actually participate in the kill to an extent to get the boss kill. I could be wrong on that, but I think that was needed at least in the closed beta. But the high respawn time with some of the bosses, it really needs to change. I'm saying a minute after death at most. If the game can handle it, of course. Now, for the last thing that I'm sorry about, again. In the closed beta, I did not get to test the PvP war or expeditions, mostly because my time was spent playing and also working. And again, I worked this weekend, so I did not actually have time to grind as much as I would have wanted, or not grind, but level up as much as I wanted at the rate I would have wanted to actually get to the appropriate level and good gear and actually find a group to do expeditions or participate in any wars, PvP wars. Now, I did try to find a group on the last day of the beta. Unfortunately, as a DPS character, finding a group was not easy, like many other RPGs, or MMOs, I should say. Finding a group when you're a DPS is, it's not the easiest. Of course, healer and tank finds groups much faster. Now, I will say though that I do hope that they will add some kind of group finder in this game where you can do like select, I want to do this expedition and this expedition, and then just click, uh, select your what is it, role in the group, and then you find a group and then you do the expedition, and when you're done you get booted back to the location where you accepted to enter the dungeon or expedition, much like Star Wars The Old Republic and World of Warcraft have done. It's not a flawless system, but it works quite well, and I do hope that they integrate that into the game, or for a full game. So, on to the more positive things. There are positive things, of course, and combat is still nice. I still love the combat in this game. It's more skill-based, I would say, than other MMOs, and a little bit harder. It's not just click on the enemy and then press 1, 2, 3, 4, or any buttons that you have keyed to an ability and just throw ability after ability. It's more of a attack, dodge, use an ability, dodge, and do things like that. It's more tactical in a way, and I'll do like that. Like killing several enemies in a row without taking damage is very satisfying to me, because as the combat is quite more skill-based, you do need to watch out for attacks and maybe block or dodge or whatever you choose to do. And actually fighting more than 3-4 enemies can be quite difficult in this one, depending on your abilities, of course, and what your level you are, relatively to the enemy level, of course. Now, onto another positive things about quests is that quests have been given a more of a, what should we say, a distinct marker. Last time we had faction quests and side quests and mission or story quests. They all had the same marker on the map. Now they have changed that to having faction quests being blue, so you can easily differentiate between the different missions. So anytime I saw a blue quest out in the distance, I was like, I'm not gonna do that now. If I get to there, like with a story quest or a side quest, I can do that, but I don't want to do that now. But yeah, exploring is still fun, really fun, finding new things. The only thing I do wish they had more of was actually side quests out in the wilds. You don't see many side quests that are out in the wilds. Most quests you do find in the cities or settlements. Now I would like to see more quests in like when going down a road you see an NPC that like wants you to maybe uh, avenge his family or maybe find some food or uh, find some items. I know those quests can be a bit of a drag, but I do like them because it makes the worlds feel more lived in, more real. Now, for challenge in this game, the real challenge comes with the corruption events, I would say. They are almost everywhere, actually, especially when the last day I played, I noticed these red skulls on the map like everywhere. Now these red skulls are the corruption events, and when you enter that area you get sort of quests and then you follow the steps and you complete it. Now it is recommended for level 25 and you need a Azoth staff, which you get through doing the main quests. And if you're lucky you can find a big group of players doing these things and just follow them along. You don't even need to be in a group really to get the reward. And the reward is some nice loot for hopefully you get chests that contain some random items for your level and gear rating, and XP for both your character and weapon, of course, and reputation with the settlement that is in that area. So if you're into Windsward, you get reputation for Windsward. There is one problem though. I did mention that it's a quest when you enter the area, the corruption area. And I have to say I'm not really sure that you do complete it fully if you don't make any progress on it. Like for instance, I had a quest where we were a big group and we had to kill 2 acolytes, I think it said. And as I did not do enough damage on the acolytes, I did not get a progress on that. I had always 0 out of 2 acolytes killed, even though I had participated and damaged the acolytes. Not as much as many other players maybe, but I was there. Now I didn't get the progress, but I did finish it and got a reward in the end anyway. But I'm not 100% sure I get as much reward as someone who actually got progress on that. Now, I guess that's kind of fair because I didn't participate or contribute as much as that person. I do get less of a reward. That kind of makes sense, but still, that also depends on how many players are there, because we were maybe a dozen players there or more, possibly more. So actually getting a hit in can be quite tricky because when you draw your weapon, the players can actually interact with each other, just collision. Not when you have your weapon sheathed though, then you can move through players, I believe. Anyway, let's move on to something that I did not get to experience the last time I played in the closed beta actually. I bought a house. I bought the cheapest house because I did not have the necessary reputation to buy a bigger one, but I bought a house for 2,500 gold, and that was actually half price off because it was my first house. But anyway, I bought the house and I started decorating it. Nice features. The decorating mechanics are very free because I could just bring up the item and place it wherever I wanted in whatever angle. There's no grid system, but you can activate that kind of the grid and link system where it gets placed right up to the wall or right down to the furniture or whatever you're placing, which is nice because sometimes you do want that and you want something to be as close to the wall as possible, and you don't want to do that by looking at it or having your eyes. You can always activate that and just it links to the wall when you push it against the wall. So that was a really nice decorating mechanic, and I could also place things outside the house, not just inside but also outside. Of course, with bigger houses you get more area and you get more outside area where you can place things. And smaller and bigger houses do have a bit different perks to them. Of course, bigger houses are more expensive, but they also give more perks. Like, for instance, you can fast travel to that house more frequently. My house had a 4-hour cooldown. I believe another house had 3 hours and somehow 2 hours. There's also a trophy system where you place trophies inside your house and you get small perks for that, like possibly more damage or damage against beasts or more gold or mining, have a higher chance of getting rare items when mining or harvesting and things like that. And I do like that. It means the house that gets a more active role, and it's actually worth having a house, just not just for the sake of having a house and being able to decorate it, but you can also, because of the uh, perks you get for actually doing it, because you can fast travel to that house, you can have more than one house if you like, but I believe you have to level up to a certain level before you can actually have more than one house. The first house is unlocked, well, basically instantly, but you just need the right reputation level, but then you will need to have the right level, character level that is, to be able to buy 2 houses or own 2 houses. You can always just remove one of your houses if you like. But all in all, the game is still great and I'm looking forward to the release, and the release is on the 28th of September this year. Now, for me, what drives me to this game is, except for the things I've already mentioned, also the story of the game, because I do like the story. Mostly because of the lore that they have integrated into the game. It feels like they've put a lot of effort into the lore actually, because it makes, in the magical sense and world they have established, it kind of makes sense. Even death in this game makes sense. I mean, animals coming back and enemies coming back, it makes sense because of the lore of the game. That is very, very interestingly done and very well thought out, I think. Now the world is also, of course, beautiful and the textures are nice. I'm playing on high. Well, not everything is on high, but most of it is on high. And I do get some stable frames. Frame drops in cities though, I don't like that, but I can live with it because no combat in settlements, so I don't need too big of graphics. Question is how it would do when doing like PvP war, because then it's 50 versus 50 and or 25 versus 25 and there's a lot of things happening, so I don't know. Now the sound is also great when it works. The sound bug, of course, made that experience a little bit less satisfying, but the sound didn't go out all the time, so I did have I did get to experience the sound quite a lot, and the sound is great to me, both the combat sound and just the music and the environmental sounds. It's great to me. Now, of course, with the bugs and glitches that are in the game, like for instance things spawning inside of rocks and such does make me want to almost yell at the developer, but that's not gonna help, so I'm not gonna do that. But the game isn't great, or the game isn't perfect. Sorry, the game isn't perfect, but it's certainly something that I will be playing when it releases on the 28th. Now, up to you guys. What do you guys think? Have you played the beta? Did you like it or did you not like it? Put your thoughts down in the comments. I've been Swip92. Have a great life, and I hope to see you in future videos. Bye bye.